when I started saying, "Oh, I'm a teacher," oh yeah, and I love my kids, yeah, 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 and then I go, "But I wish I could hit them," and they were like, "Oh,
Let's give it loud everybody for Anthony Eugenio. Bring up your next comic. Very funny. Wayne Russell, everybody.
Welcome to the Open Mic Pain with Anthony and Wayne podcast.
All right, so normally we've been doing cold opens, but today is a special day. I want to introduce this guy because he's not only one of the funniest guys out there working, but he's one of my favorite people to work with. He came in, I think it was number 3 on the Merrimack Valley's funniest person competition. Long overdue. Carlos Z, how are you, buddy?
oh, thank you, and thank you for having me."
Yeah,
I think
I just had
somebody else came on third place. I think.
hmm.
Yeah,
Was it Maz? I think maybe Maz was number 3.
Maz was
Yeah,
number three. Well deserved win, Maz. Well
yeah,
deserved.
that was great. That was a good time. That was a great
Hmm.
time.
Yeah, man, it was fun. I love that. I love that room. It's great. You
There's
never. It's
something
a,
about it. It just
yeah,
there's an energy when you walk in there and you walk up on the stage. It just like screams comedy, you know.
absolutely.
I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Last time I was there, I they asked me to host, and Ken Richardson was
Ken Rogerson, the
Ken
Viper.
Rogerson. Sorry, the Viper. Yes, the
I
Viper.
have not yet seen him. So you worked with him,
Right.
Jacques,
I work with
Anthony.
at yes, it was exactly, and what a nice guy, dude. It was like met him at the bar. We got chatting, and he was like the nicest guy in the world. And then he of course got on a kill, destroyed. And what really caught my attention was that it's all clean comedy, like it's
Hmm.
clean and it's absolutely hilarious.
He's a legend. Do you know who Emo Phillips is?
I don't know who Emo Phillips is.
So Emo Phillips, he's a lesser known comic, but he's another legend.
Hmm.
Do you ever watch Weird Al's movie UHF? You ever see that?
Yes,
You know
yeah,
the
yeah,
guy
yeah.
who cuts his thumb off on the saw?
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's
yes.
Emo Phillips.
That's Emo Phillips.
Yep.
Okay, okay.
So he's
I
coming
heard
around for
that
the
movie.
Boston Comedy Festival,
Okay,
and he's doing a couple spots, but one of them's at McHugh's Room up in Portland. I'm sorry, Portsmouth,
okay.
and
Portland, yeah.
he specially requested Ken Rogerson to do 25 minutes ahead of him before he goes on. So that's going to be a killer show.
Oh my God. Yeah, I gotta get up there.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get up there. I know Anthony's going. I think Jacques going. Um, I'm
Yeah, definitely keep me in the loop.
yeah, I'll let you know for sure. I'll send you the flyer when we're done here. So what have you been up
Yeah.
to? You've been keeping busy?
Yeah, keeping busy. Did a show a couple weeks ago, open where was it? At the British Club in Billerica, I think it was. Okay. It was a fundraiser. It was great. It was for Matt Blanchett. He was the booker, and it was mostly Hispanic room, so it was great for me because I would, I did everything, man. I did English, I did Spanish, I did a show and tell, I did a song. It was great. It was actually the first um my first 25-minute set, and
Nice.
and
Congrats.
it was great. It was just it went by so quickly, and you feel like you always think about, oh my God, like you go from 10 to 15, and
Hmm.
it's always pushing, and but it was so seamless. It was great. I would have done more. To be honest, like the audience was awesome.
Yeah.
Like I did it with Miss Laddie and Philip Anthony, and they just everybody. Just Philip Anthony was the headliner, and he just destroyed. It was so great. It was such a
Hmm.
good show. Um, and yeah, no, just trying to go on. I would say, and just working on my material. Like every day, like I have this thing when I get up always like at 4 in the morning with like ideas, and
Hmm.
half the time I'm too lazy to roll over and type them on my phone.
Yep.
and then I'm on my way to work. It's like, whoa, what was that?
I
I
did.
completely forget it, man.
I
It
did that yesterday.
sucks.
I was driving with a kid from work, and we were chatting, and just stuff came up, and then we were just rolling, just going back and forth about this idea. And I was like, I
Yeah,
was the one driving. I'm like, I got to write that down when we get to where we're going, and I completely forgot by the time we got there. It was the
yeah,
worst feeling in the world trying to remember that. It's like when you wake up and try to remember a dream, but you can't.
Right. Oh my God. Yes. And like, oh, it was so funny. It was
Hmm.
so funny.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Imagine how many
boy.
awesome bits we throw away because of our laziness to
Hmm.
write shit down.
Yes, it's so true. And
Yeah.
so, all it is, like, I can dictate to my phone. But I did it a couple of times. It's like, fucking, the dog is chasing the cat or whatever. And my wife's just like, shut the fuck up. You woke me up. It's
Oh, so you're
like,
dictating in the middle of the night,
yeah, in the
like
middle
right
of the night.
next to
Oh,
her ear.
they said, honey, it's a great bit. I can't let this one go. She's like, yeah,
That's incredible.
yeah. Oh no, good stuff. But I'm getting like so I've been doing a lot of, so I want to do more like autobiographical, like, you know material, right? Because it's my truth, whatever. And I did this bit about going to Catholic school with nuns and how the nuns used to whack me with a ruler and shit. And I was talking to my cousin in Miami, and she was like, "I saw your bit on Instagram. You're so full of shit. You're so full of shit, full of shit. That nothing shit." And I go, I swear to God, that is absolutely true. The freaking nuts, because you don't believe that the nuts will hit me. I said that part is true.
Hmm.
The part about me getting turned on by the hit, eh, it's not exactly false, but you know, yeah, yeah, yeah. So
That's
yeah,
funny. I've
man.
I've been having a lot of fun lately with that kind of thing, pulling from
Mm-hmm.
uh, real life experiences, and just like everything to me is now bit potential.
Yes.
There's a good portion of my set now. Like if I were to do 20 minutes, probably half of it is shit that has happened to me, and I just expanded on. Like just over the weekend, I had this other this thing happen where I took my son to a trampoline park, and
Oh,
they have like this pit with foam in it, and they have
yes,
like
yes.
balance beams and stuff. And my son was doing something that was kind of irritating this other kid, and he wasn't doing it on purpose, but he didn't really realize it. So I got up real quick and went over to him. I was like, "Hey, bud, stop that." And he's like, "Okay, okay, sorry, whatever." And I turned to walk down. I look in the foam pit, and there's like a 3-year old in there, up to his
Oh,
neck in foam.
oh,
He's got one arm out, and he's like this, and he looks
oh,
at me in the
shit.
eye and goes, "Help!" And I looked down, and I went, "Nope," and I just I just kept walking because I'm like, I'm not touching somebody's kid. You
Oh,
see this
wow.
fucking mug pulling children out of the foam pit? Somebody's going out in handcuffs.
Yeah, somebody's got to call the cops on you, Wayne.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
but I'm
is
like,
like,
that's I don't know. I think that's a funny scenario, but how do you expand? How do you slow that down and expand it? You know what I mean?
right.
And that's what I'm working on with my thought process is little things like that. Okay, where can I put that? Because I have other stuff that I've written about other playgrounds. Like the McDonald's
Right,
play place and other stuff. And I had something about a regular playground, and then I had stuff about McDonald's playground. I was like, you know what? It's all just McDonald's now because it doesn't matter there.
right.
So now that's all one bit. But now do I turn the foam into balls and it's still in McDonald's? Like, you know what I mean? Like all these
Yes,
experiences,
yes,
just
yes.
changing little things to make everything cohesive. I don't know, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Like, it's just like, yeah, we're like, I'm not gonna touch. I don't even like my own kids. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
touch
yeah,
your
dude.
kids, you know?
Yeah, I
Oh
mean, the
man,
kid
yeah,
wasn't
man.
in
That's
any
a,
apparent danger. He was just having a hard time getting out of the foam. If he was in
it's
if he was
like,
in danger, I would have
yeah,
pulled him
tough
out.
it up. Yeah, tough it up. Make a man out of you.
Yeah,
Get your
exactly.
fucking, you fucking, it's, it's climb yourself out by yourself out of that fucking foam pit.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it's
Yep.
been a while. It's been a while since I've been to those places. Last time, yeah, I think the trampoline park. Yeah, my girls are too old. I don't even. Actually, it's cool because I just hung out with one of them because they have a burger special down the road from where I live. So she was like, "Oh, want to go for burgers?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And this was, you know, this was after, she came home and, I asked the wrong thing and she got mad at me. So I'm glad we had that opportunity to make up over a burger. I don't know.
I'm not looking forward to the big problems like that when you say the wrong thing to like a teenager. Like now I say to my
Oh,
son, "What do you want for dinner?" and he gets pissed off at me. He's like, "I'm not hungry." You know, he's at that
ah,
age. Um,
oh,
that's
oh,
that's annoying, but it's minuscule. You know, that'll pass in
oh
45
yeah,
seconds. But
yeah.
I'm not looking forward to the big problems.
No, no. But yeah, I don't know. You have what do you have? One boy?
Just one boy. Yeah, he's five and a half.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So the boys are different, man. Boys are. See, it's I'm in the. I think I'm on the tail end of the like the the teenage girl angst,
Hmm.
where like nothing you say is right, and it's finally like they're coming around to yeah, yeah. Maybe puppy's not that bad.
Yeah, I remember what it
Maybe
was for
that's a,
me
that's,
when I was just a teenage girl. Uh, my,
yeah.
I remember when I was
You
18.
still,
You know, my
it's
angst
still.
towards my parents,
Oh my
and
God, yes,
you know, it's
yes.
natural, but it started going away when I started paying bills and I had a car payment and this, and I was like, oh
Right.
shit, that's why they're fucking grumpy all the time. And
Hmm.
this life thing is I don't have it figured out. So
Yeah. It's so yeah, it's so true because yeah, it gives you a lot of perspective about your parents and
hmm
I was I was the first one. I was the first one of four boys and that was always my thing, like always rebelling, always being an
hmm
asshole and I feel so bad
See,
about
I was the
I
last
mean,
of three, so I didn't
wow.
have the my rebelling. I didn't have like that. There's
Hmm.
somebody coming up behind me that's getting more attention. I had all the attention. My
Right.
brother
The baby.
is 9 years
Hmm.
older than me, so he's the next closest.
Hmm.
My sister was 12. So my parents restarted that clock like fucking idiots. I would not restart that clock 9 years in. But yeah, I never had that, so I don't know exactly where all my angst came from, but
Yeah. You
hormones.
maybe you were a little oops baby.
No, my other siblings are actually half siblings. So my mother was divorced and met my dad and married him, and I don't think she
Gotcha.
wanted another kid, but he did, and she was just like, "All right, hop on in, let's go."
Let's
You know?
go. You're the compromise.
Yeah, yep.
You, you saved the marriage, Wayne.
I did. I'm a hero. Hero.
Yeah, you are. There you go. You are
Yep. Points to
an
self. Hero.
American hero.
Did you see the thing on I don't know, do you go on like the Boston comedians page, either part one
Sure.
or
Oh
part
my
two?
God, yes. Oh my God, and with a bucket of popcorn every time.
No shit. I stay off of part two now because it's mind numbing. I
Wait a
don't.
minute, there's a part one? I didn't know.
Yeah, it's just
There's
called
another one.
Boston Comedian Community or something like that, or
Oh,
Boston
yeah.
Comedy Community. But
I
I,
only
for
know the
some
part
reason,
two.
didn't mute that, and something came across from a guy. I won't name his name, but he posted out there um, something along the lines of, "Does anybody have any good uh, AI programs to write jokes? I've been using this or that." And they've been pretty good, and they're working for me. Like this whole thing, and he's just basically saying he's using AI to write his jokes.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I wonder how prevalent that is.
Yeah. I did they get on him? That would be interesting to get the
Obi-Wan
read the
Kenobi did.
comments. Oh, okay,
Yeah, he
okay.
got on there. He's like, yeah, if you're writing jokes using AI, this might not be for you or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And other people got on him a little bit, and he was like, well, it was my prompt, so it's my joke. I was like, well, no.
No, no. Dude, the thing with AI with me, like, I, I, can we swear here?
Yeah,
Is
you can
that
say
okay?
whatever you want.
Okay.
We
So
found out that the C word shadow bans us, so we don't get seen that often. We used to start the show with that word quite often.
oh,
But now
okay.
I try to bleep it whenever I can because
No, okay. I won't. No, no, no. I w't use
but
it.
well, you can
So
use
no,
whatever you want.
I'm not looking to go all dirty. But just wanted to
You
make
can
sure.
go as dirty as
Ah,
you want.
I
Dirtier the
want
better. I don't
to
care.
dirty motherfucker.
The eight people that normally listen are going to listen regardless.
I'm my mom. Hopefully, my mom. No, but what I was gonna say, when the only time I fucked with AI and ChatGPT, I asked ChatGPT, write me a song about my cat Tigre. Just and it wrote this most beautiful, poetic song. You know, it wasn't a song; it was a poem, right? But it was like it freaked me out, Wayne, because it felt like there was a soul behind it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not right, dude. And and I haven't gone near it because I know people write jokes on. Yeah, I know people that they do that, and I'm not. I don't want to go near it
Yeah.
because I feel that that's the one thing I enjoy about this whole process is that it's creative and it's really fun to like capture those ideas in the middle of the night and make it into something. Um, and I feel that that's gonna do the same thing that cell phones have done to us
Hmm.
socially. It's gonna something's gonna wilt in us if you start depending too much on that shit.
Yeah.
The creativity and just like the social interactions it's like, dude, I'm a teacher, right? So
Yep.
with the kids now, the high school kids, like when I was in high school, and I'm sure there's comedians that have talked about this. So I'm not stealing anyone's joke. I'm not doing a bit, but like, when you wanted to tell someone that you like them, you had to go up to them, and if they fucking rejected you, you had to lick your wounds and
Yep.
and fucking deal with it and try again. Whereas the kids now, if you get rejected it's oh okay, I'll go on my phone. Like you have that escape. You don't have to suffer. And I think that suffering is so important.
That's the problem with the kids coming out. They have no
Yeah,
shame. They don't feel the
yeah.
shame anymore. You know how much shame I had as a child?
Oh yeah.
We're not
You
going to
know
have
how
any
much shame I
comedians
feel.
because nobody's going to be fucked up from getting rejected so many times.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Oh my God. Yeah.
That's an interesting point, actually. Um, with
Uh-huh.
how much people are on their phones and how less experiences we're having as a people in general. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we like we were just talking about. A lot of good comedy comes from truth, right? And our experiences, and me if
Right.
I didn't go to that trampoline park, I wouldn't have had that experience. If I was
Yeah.
just sitting there on my phone the whole time instead of watching my kid, I wouldn't have had that experience to at least have an inkling to plant a seed of a bit. So with so many people just nosing their phone all the time, I wonder,
Right.
how many less experiences are we going to have, and I wonder how that's going to affect
Right.
future comics.
Well, yeah, exactly. And like I feel I right now I have a problem, man. I have to delete TikTok. Fucking that shit is addictive as fuck.
Sure
It's
is.
so addictive. And I think about if I had that when I was a teenager, just, you know, not even TikTok, just fucking internet porn, it would have been like I would have never picked up a guitar. It's so the whole thing is so pervasive, dude. Yeah, and the thing is, yeah, I feel like I got rejected so many times. We had this little ritual, right, in Catholic school. I went to high Catholic school, and we had this little ritual when we take the class photos, and you get the big class photo for your parents and your relatives, but you get the little wallet size, right? And then if you like someone, you will be like, hey, can I exchange pictures with you, right? So you like, I would take the picture and dedicate it, hey, to so and so, whatever. And then I go over and hopefully they'll return the favor, right? But sometimes they didn't. Sometimes it was like, nah,
I
I
don't
don't
believe
want
it.
your fucking pic.
Who's rejecting you?
I
Nobody was
dude,
rejecting you.
oh, stop it. Tell me more. No. Oh my God, I was so many times, and but you persist, right? You
Hmm.
persist, you
Yep.
persist, and eventually, all you need is a yes.
Yeah.
It, you know, next thing
You
you
need
know,
one girl
you're
with poor
making out
judgment.
behind the altar. Yeah. What was that? Sorry.
You need one girl with poor judgment. You're set for life.
Oh
You got a
yes,
family, a career.
I love it. Yeah, yeah. Well, just to be clear, we're talking about when I was in high school. I'm a good boy now.
Well, you're still in high school.
I was high school. Well, I'm on the other side. The kids. Oh my God, that's a whole nother thing with the kids today, bro. It's like, ah,
I don't envy. I'm
it's
sure it's very.
material, but it's material, dude. There's so much. There's so much. Like every day. Like I have this whole thing with like I do a show and tell of like how they redecorated my classroom and I have pictures of like the little messages they leave me and sometimes it's
Hmm.
like, dude, like you say, there is no shame. Shame is
Yeah,
oh my God.
and
Yeah,
they're idiots too because they'll film all the stupid shit they do and put it online.
dude, there was a kid using ChatGPT today to to do an assignment that I gave them. I gave them an assignment on the computer just to do like a quick math warm up. It's called a warm up. You know, you warm up the kids with a little. Dude, he was throwing it on ChatGPT. I'm like, really? I'm trying to explain to this kid, like, I'm not doing this to punish you, or I'm just want you to try. Even if you get it wrong, I'm still giving you the points, dude. Don't do that. I
So,
said, oh,
so here's
okay.
a question for you with AI.
Yes.
So, like, you don't want them using that because you're like, you're not going to have that in the real world, right? Back when I was a kid, I was always told you can't use calculators on a test because you're never going to have a calculator on you at all times. And now I fucking have a calculator on me at all
On your
times.
phone.
And
Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that I can do all that math in my head and everything. But,
Mm-hmm.
times do
Mm-hmm.
change. And what are your
You're
thoughts on
right.
that?
That is a very good point. That's a very good point because ChatGPT is accessible to anyone. Um, I guess, yeah, you're right. I guess I'm holding on to that old school notion that you should try to train your brain and,
Mm-hmm.
and to have a critical thinking machine that's not going rotten, that's not
Yep.
like losing power. And then yeah, in the real world you can have ChatGPT and the calculators and stuff. Um, but listen, now the Department of Education is going away, so who cares?
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be the Department of TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
like
I'll tell you, there's
I,
nothing that infuriates me more than when I go to a store and they're like, yeah, it's whatever, 1906, and I give them a 20 and a penny or something like that, or whatever to make the difference. So I'm not getting fucking
a bunch of
pennies and
pennies.
all kinds of stuff, and
Yeah.
they just stare at it like, why'd you
Uh,
give me a penny? That drives me
it's like
fucking insane.
yeah, it's like it's like you throw it. Oh my God, throwing them a curveball
Yep.
when you're making them think to one side.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
tell you, man, there's so much absurdity.
There is.
There's just so much absurdity that it's, it's like I'm trying to think about today, you know, the, oh God, like oh just today alone the stuff that the kids do. It's like oh my God.
What drives me
Uh,
nuts about the kids is all the slang now.
yes,
It's not like cool and shit like that we said. It's like skibbity. What the
Skibidi.
fuck is
Oh,
skibbity?
okay. Today I had a conversation because I heard I hate the word buzzing. Buzzing. I hate that word. I
Was
hate
it
it.
busting?
Busting. Yeah, that's the one. The one that means that is delicious.
I don't know this
It's
word.
something busting or buzzing. Something buzzing. It's good. It's a just fucking say delicious. What's wrong with delicious?
Yeah.
Is delicious gonna go the way of moist? Is it gonna be like
You're
that?
not allowed
Like
to
we
say
can say moist?
it's
Are you gonna say
deliciously moist.
delicious? Deliciously moist. It's like, oh, don't say delicious. It's got, bad connotations. Like, what the fuck, dude? I hate that. It's so like how the language is changing. It's bossy. And we have
Especially
the
like when you're in school reading like Shakespeare and stuff, and the way that the words are so eloquently crafted, and you got kids saying "riz." No, it's
yeah, right, exactly. There's this author. I mean, we're getting off the comedy, but there's this author called Patrick Rothfuss. He I love fantasy books and reading that stuff, sci-fi. He wrote this book called The Name of the Wind. It's a fantasy book. It's really good. But it's a trilogy and he's only had two books and he's taking forever to do the third or whatever. But the point is that when he has this chapter where this particular character speaks in rhyme, and the rhyme is so tight and so perfect and never misses a beat that it's like this dude spent years writing this shit
yeah.
because it's absolutely perfect. And yeah, like we're losing that. And I'm trying when I'm writing, I'm trying to, which I haven't been very successful at, but writing things verbatim
Hmm.
so that when I do my bits, I remember
Yep.
everything, and it's very organized. Um, and I haven't been that successful with that, but that's my goal, you
Yep.
know. And yeah. Well, how do you feel about crowd work, dude?
So I've been crowd work itself, not so much. I'm like, yeah, I don't think it's my thing. In general
Hmm.
conversation, if I'm at the office and shit's going on, I usually pipe in with some pretty funny commentary.
Yes,
I
yes,
feel
yes.
on the spot on stage, but what I've been trying to do is keep my ears open a little more and comment on
Hmm.
stuff. Me
Yeah.
and Anthony talked about it a little bit, where like I do the joke about my mom's throat cancer, and usually gets a really big laugh. And towards the end of my set, when I do
My God.
my down for love joke, I have a
Down
cancer
for love.
joke in there, and usually people are like, "Oh." And the first time, not the first time, but one of the times that happened, I called them out on it. And I was like, "You laughed at my mom, who was a real person who died of cancer, but the
Yeah.
people I made up, you have feelings for. You guys are
Oh my
fucked
God.
up." And I was just trying to I got a laugh on that
Mhm.
because they were like, "Oh, that's kind of messed up." Um, but I've been trying to do more stuff like that and kind of interact in that way. But I don't want to get a one on one because you saw how that goes for me. A one on one does not go well.
Oh, oh, but that was that situation. That situation. The New Year's heckler. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah, we've
crazy.
talked about that
That,
extensively. Um,
yeah, no, but that was impossible. That was not on you, dude. That woman was out of her mind drunk,
oh yeah,
and that little combination of being drunk and wanting to be part of the show.
yeah,
Oh my God, and being in a loveless marriage.
yeah.
Yeah, she was just like she blew up.
I'm a little nervous. I'm
But
working with Carolyn for the first time since then tomorrow.
oh, very
Um,
nice.
but I'm sure she wasn't
Yeah.
pleased with how that all went down, although she was very gracious about it. But
Right. I think she was cool. She was like the only thing she said was when she went on stage, she was like, "Oh no,
yeah,
oh no."
yep, yeah. And that was my fault. Then that was lack of experience on how to
No,
deal with that.
yeah, but that's it's tough, bro. Well, think about okay. So this is what you call this open mic pain.
Yeah.
That you invited me on this. Like I was thinking, oh, what's my worst experience? I had a situation worse than yours. I was doing a comedy drag show variety, and this here where I live, and that this woman was in the front row, and she was there before the show started with her friends, and they started drinking too. They were pounding it. Uh, um, and the show started. The first comic went on. She did great. Then the drag queen did her she was fantastic. Then this guy did show tunes, and then it was my turn, right? So I went on and I started doing all my business stuff. And all of a sudden the drag queen comes on stage and I'm like, awesome. That this is great. I'm gonna have a partner to do banter and stuff. I love those drag queens are so funny. And she goes, Carlos, you gotta stop. And I go, what? And she covers the mic. She goes, they call the paramedics, and all of a sudden I see the lights in front and the paramedics coming in to get this woman who's like literally passed out over her table, and I'm like, and I'm thinking, seriously, you decided to call the fucking paramedics when I'm on? You didn't call them before? And that's like the lack of experience. I could hear myself on the mic going, what happens here stays here. Oh, okay, folks. I guess that's it for me. And I got on, dude. And I remember you were so pissed that night. That I was so pissed. I was like, this is fucking bullshit. I took off. I went and I was like, I took off and went next door, had a drink with a buddy of mine who's also a comic. And I was like, this is fucking bullshit. I can't believe they did this to me.
Yeah, and I'm sure at that point, yeah, I'm sure it was early on to you getting shows,
Yeah,
so you were
yeah,
very
well,
excited about that night, and then that happened.
super.
Yeah,
I was so pumped. I was so pumped for that show, man. And yeah, because it's here where I live, and I was like, this is in front of my neighbors and friends, and I wanted to do well, and it's like,
yeah,
it didn't go as planned.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you learn. This last show I did up for my Blanchette at the British Club. See, um, I'm, it was in Lowell, it was in Lawrence, and the I did a lot of crowd work because they were the audience was so chatty
Hmm.
and they were so like, but it wasn't obnoxious. Like I uploaded a clip with this woman trying to tell me that that stage about to break, and I didn't hear her. I'm trying to like ignore her, and then I figure, oh, she's telling me I'm about to fall on this crack.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I was able to turn it into a funny bit because I was just, and I want to get to the point where I go in to a show with no, I'm not gonna do any. Let's just talk to the audience and see what happens. Because I mean,
Yeah.
why not? And see, and
Anthony's
that.
getting pretty good at that.
Oh yeah,
Um, Mainly when there's like chatty people. Um,
oh yeah.
he sent me a
Shuts them
video
down.
of his where he was at McHugh's and there was a lady off to the side, and the whole time she was like repeating his lines, his punchlines, and I don't think she was trying to be um, like interrupting or
Hmm.
anything. She would just like she'd like nudge her friend and be like, "Ha ha, giraffe, ha ha," and so he had a couple interactions with her, but then it got like too much, and like towards the end, he looks at her and goes, "Are you like closed captioning this whole fucking thing? Can you do it in Spanish, please? Do you do SAP?" I was like, "That's pretty good. That was good."
Though I envy him that so much because that's like when the weed brain, you're like,
Yeah,
so creative and so where like he's so good at that. Like, I wish I could.
I saw a clip. Do you know Adam Ray?
Yeah, I know Adam, right? Yeah, you know what? You've asked me about five comics. I'm not gonna say I don't know them anymore. Yeah, I know Adam.
No, Adam Ray does the Dr. Phil on Kill Tony.
Oh yeah, yeah. He dressed up as Joe Biden,
Yeah, he did the Biden
right?
thing too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw a clip of his.
Huh.
It's just a video of him on stage, and a guy gets up and walks like towards the camera, and he got up to go to the bathroom or something, and Adam goes, "Yeah, buddy, you mind leaving the room for this joke?" Like it was such a perfect call out. Just that's the kind of level I think that would be fun to get to, where you can just small
Yeah,
little things like that, and just add a little extra like spice.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. You see, at the end, like people want to have fun, People want to have fun.
Yeah.
Um, um, yeah. I'm trying to think of other times that I've tried to do like crowd work and stuff. Because you always want to do a little crowd work before you do a joke. Like, any parents here? Anyone's gone to the high school reunion?
Yeah, you're trying to build that. I think I've said it many times. I think the best comedy is all about relatability, right? I think that's
Yeah.
why local comics do so well when in particular rooms when they're talking about their kids, or like Anthony with a younger crowd talking
Hmm.
about being high, or things like
Hmm.
that. It's all about relatability.
Yeah. Well, I did a show up with Miss Laddie. There was a Teachers Gone Wild.
I saw
This
the
woman,
previews for that. You were going crazy on promoting like all your videos. I was watching them all. That was great.
yeah, we're trying to get people in, and she had a shot. She had the Teachers Gone Wild, and then the Hispanic ladies afterwards, and that was cool. That was cool. But you know what's interesting? Like, people in that show were teachers, right? And they were not, because when I started saying, "Oh, I'm a teacher," oh yeah, and I love my kids, yeah, 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 and then I go, "But I wish I could hit them," and they were like, "Oh." Like they were, it was that kind of crowd that the teachers are great and we're heroes and we do so much for the kids and the kids are learning and this one. So they wanted that. I feel like whenever I got into the comedy part, I lose them, and
Hmm.
it was so weird. It's like, oh, okay, so teachers are great. Hey, um,
Maybe that hits too
it was
close
like
to
the
home.
dark. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
you know
yeah,
that could be it. Maybe it's like I would
yeah.
never hit my kids. I did
I
a.
would have.
I might cut this out because it's kind of fucked up. Uh,
Okay, so you're gonna edit this thing.
well, not we use that. What I'm about to say. So me and Anthony did a show together, and there was a guy there that was a teacher, and we could see him in the parking lot trying to find the door to get in, and he was just really lost. He was just walking back and forth like a
Yeah,
you know, whatever. And I just for some reason started like narrating as if I was him, like on stage, and
yeah.
I was like, I think I said something along the lines of, "Hey everyone, I'm a teacher, and don't worry, I don't fuck my kids. Uh, they're other people's." And
This is it's
I don't know what made me think of
they're
that, but me
safe.
and Anthony had a good
They're
laugh
safe
over
with
that.
me. Yeah, you can do, yeah. Oh, that would be like a cool TikTok channel, just like like videoing random people on the street and then voice overing what they're thinking.
I used to do that with my wife all the time when we first started dating. We'd be at a restaurant, and I'd be like, "Hey, look at those guys over there, and look at those
Just
two,"
the same.
and then I would just start like saying the words for each of
Like
them, and just be the most
coming up with
yeah, the most obscene shit.
yeah, it's from the dirty mind of Wayne Russell.
Yep. Yeah, but when you're not being recorded, you can say anything you want because it's like, prove it,
That's
bitch. I
right.
never said that.
That, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the other thing that the kids these days they don't misbehave like we. I used to do shit because I know I was being recorded, man.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's so fucking. Dude, we used to do guys of fucking shit around. We were bored. We didn't have any cell phones. That was the most beautiful thing in the world. You have to come up with your own entertainment.
That's wild. Kids are
Yeah.
different creatures these days.
Ah, yeah, man.
I took my
Yeah,
kid to
that's
the
the.
park after school the other day,
Hmm.
and there was a group of girls. They must have been like 12 or 13, but they were hanging out in the monkey bars, like climbing up on the top, and just all their phones were just laying in the wood chips.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, man,
Well, they
no
were
care
taking
whatsoever.
their
What's it?
dopamine break.
Yeah.
They were they're taking a dopamine break, and then
I mean,
you
it
know,
was great they didn't have their phones on them, but me
yeah,
as an adult, I'm like, do you know how expensive that shit is?
right.
Put that somewhere.
Put that somewhere. Yeah, your dad paid for that. Oh my God, my wife's so mad at me, dude, because she was complaining her phone wasn't working. So she had the iPhone 12, and I said, so I'll get you the 13, no problem. So we got into the 13, whatever. Then my phone started glitching, and I'm like, you know what? I need a good phone for taking footage and stuff, and it's worked great. It's like, I want to get the 16. I got the iPhone 16, dude. When my daughter saw it, it's like, did you get yourself the 16? I'm like, oh shit. No, that's my old phone. And now my wife, my two daughters are so pissed at me because they're like, why'd you get mommy the 13? You're so cheap. I'm like, I didn't know. It's better than the 12.
That's why you get
And
those
it's like,
giant ass life proof cases. They're like three
oh
times the
yeah.
size of the phone. Nobody knows what you have.
But you know what? I should freaking do that. I should have gotten the same because then, she wanted to play with my phone and stuff. It's like, it's the same as your phone. No, this one's got the super emojis. It's got the freaking super emojis with the AI and that bullshit. I don't use any of that shit. I just took the video that I took at the show in Haverhill and the Lawrence. It was great. Matt Blanchett was like, "Oh, is that did you mic yourself?" I know, bro. That was the iPhone 16. iPhone 16, bro.
I tried to get a nice, no, not a nice. I tried to get a decent camera with a mic on it, and I brought it to Start
Yeah,
Crewing, the first one we did, and I set it all up. I
yeah.
recorded the entire thing. I was gonna clip it up and give it to each of the comics, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a piece of shit. I returned the I returned the camera. It came out all
Really?
pixelated, and the sound sounded
Oh.
like old school buffering on the internet. I was so sad because it was such a great night.
Mm.
Everybody did awesome. It would have been awesome to have those videos for everybody. To,
Oh, that's too bad. Oh, but did you see the Justin Hoff put a thing that he's gonna have like a showcase with multiple cameras? That would
yeah,
be
that's gonna be
nice.
like an open mic, right? Like a
Right.
booked open mic.
Like a book open mic, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I hit him up. That would be nice to have.
Katrobis was supposed to do that on March 23rd. I asked him about it the other day, and he's like, "Yeah, nobody wanted to do it." I'm like, "I wanted to do it. Jacques would have done it. I think Anthony was going to do
Oh,
it."
oh yeah, my show day. That's the improv date.
That's the improv day. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't make it.
Oh, you can't make that.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna be on a college visit that weekend.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So
Damn.
yeah.
So how long you been doing comedy?
I'm going on 3 years now.
3 years.
Three
Nice.
years, 3 years. But I've been performing for over 20, music and
Hmm.
acting. So
What made
being
you
on,
What made you go? I want to tell jokes.
well, I've always been told that I'm funny,
Hmm.
and I never. I actually did stand up. I took a stand up comedy class. Oh my God, over 20 years ago at the Cambridge Center for Adult Education, and then we had a little showcase at the end, and I loved it. But for some reason, I never really pursued it, and I've been thinking about it, getting back, to explore it again. And then one day, I just thinking about it, get an email saying, "Oh, you want to be a comic? We come to the Fox and Hounds, and Michael Trovis is teaching a class." I'm like, "Oh, that's my chance," because I was free that Sunday,
Hmm.
and I just went and then took the class and uh, been working at it for the last 3 years, and dude, it's an addiction, man. It's like
Hmm.
when it's rocking and you're banging and you're crushing and you're having a great set. Nothing better, nothing better. But when you're bombing,
Yeah.
like bombing, like but dude, like Pat Collins. I told you the story I'll do for the podcast. Pat Collins booked me to host a Jimmy Cash
Hmm.
show. I was like, oh my God, what a great opportunity! I was so excited, and in fact, I go and I start doing my jokes, and I do this whole bit about my grandfather's cock and stuff, and I lost the audience, and 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 then Pat is like, "Why didn't you do your teacher stuff?" It's like, "What do you mean? All of Jimmy Cash's fans are teachers." I'm like, "Oh my God, what did you tell me?" No, Pat was so apologetic. It was cool. And um, the next day, I had I happened to be on another show with Jimmy and did all my teacher stuff, and Pat was absolutely right. It crushed.
Yep. I was there with you that night.
So,
I was supposed to
oh, you were?
host.
Yes, you were.
Yeah, I was supposed to host Gibbs Garage, but that got canceled. So Mike offered me 5 minutes there, and it went great. Except I botched my opener. Yeah, my when I was doing the my pronouns bit. It's supposed to be like my pronouns are blank, my adjectives are blank, but I said my pronouns
Uh-huh.
are blank, my pronouns, and I was like, fuck, I think I mean adjectives, but I
Right.
was able to save it because I was like, I'm not a fucking teacher, I don't know the difference, and got a little bit of a pop
Uh,
there, but um, that was a great crowd too, and you
yeah, it
fucking
was.
killed that night. Pat was
No,
right.
that was a great show, man. And
Yeah.
you know, that was great. And but it's true. Like I've been messing up my I'm a Mexican bit. It's like, yeah, I'm really a Mexican. Like I'm not a Mexican. I was born. And for some reason I'm getting stuck in that. I'm like, I keep saying I'm Mexican. I'm like, what's going on here? Like my brain, I have some kind of brain fart. I did it at the show in with Matt, and then I did it at the Miss Lottie show. And that joke is so because that joke works if it's a white crowd. It works because you appeal to the wonderful Boston racism.
Hmm.
Mexican, Puerto Ricans, who knows the difference? And but with Hispanics, you're like, I'm Mexican. I was born in Puerto Rico, and they're like, huh? You're not Mexican. Okay, so yeah, I had to be very mindful about how I deliver that joke, uh, which I still get nervous, Wayne. I still get nervous, man.
Do you?
It's a good thing, right? I get nervous. I get nervous,
I've
and
gotten I've gotten like, I don't want to say butterflies, but I've kind of got like that pit of the stomach things
yeah,
a couple times.
yeah,
But like the second I get on stage, it just that all goes away for me.
yeah,
Do you get that too? Like it just goes away when you're on stage. You just get like the before show jitters.
yeah. I get it before. Definitely, when I go on stage, it definitely goes. It definitely goes down, but I definitely feel it, dude. As I and it's getting better. Like I'm starting to lose that shame
Hmm.
of that. It's not even shame. It's like fear of forgetting. You know, you know. or like I really have to go to the bathroom in the middle of this set kind of thing. It's like that has never happened. Like for some reason, I get paranoid about that.
Yeah, that's never happened to me too, but I think about that too. Like the longer sets we start doing, I'm like, oh my god. I don't know how
Right.
Anthony's doing 20, 25 minute sets because he pees every 5 minutes when he's on stage.
Oh, there you go. Depends.
But it's
Where I
almost
guess
like
we're gonna start where the depends.
it's almost like the what do they call it? I'm gonna call it, I guess I'll call it like stage health. I forget Anthony said it one time, but it's like
Hmm.
I've gone on stage where I wasn't it was coming off like a cold or something in my voice, and I just have to constantly clear my throat and this and that, and I was really nervous about it. But then I went up and did a 10 minute set without having to do any of that stuff. And Anthony was like, "Yeah, that's like a weird thing that happens. Like sometimes performers get this thing where they're just completely healthy for their whatever they're doing, and they get off stage and they're a piece of shit again." So I wonder if
Yeah.
like the having to go to the bathroom is similar.
Right.
Your
Your
body's like, yeah, I
adrenaline,
can't piss now. You gotta hold it in.
right? It shuts down.
Yep.
Adrenaline, kicks in, and it's like it's go time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, dude. I was gonna say something. I completely lost it.
I should have wrote it down. See, we were just talking about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. That, God damn it. I gotta have this ready. So I could freaking have my notes. Yeah. What's the fuck I was gonna say, dude? That'll come back to me.
Do you remember the first joke you ever told on stage?
Yeah,
That 20 years ago.
yeah, yeah. So I actually, yeah, oh yeah, this is stupid. It's so fucking jokes. It's like I was working a corporate job and I was just making fun of like, saying stuff like we'll
Mm-hmm.
touch base, touch base. It's like which base are we touching, kind of thing. And
Yep.
then I talked about like, the priest that used to confiscate my dirty mags and would give me penance depending on how big the breasts were of the ladies. So yeah, I did that joke at the first showcase uh, after taking Mike's class. So yeah, it went well. I mean, it was half the audience was my friends, so you know.
That's a blessing and a curse. It's nice because you have the support, but
Uh-huh.
also, I think sometimes you get the laughs even if you don't deserve them.
Right.
I'll say maybe.
Yeah, and yeah. So like when the people know you're a comic, they're always sending you jokes. I was like, I love my dad, man. My dad's so funny. He's always sending me jokes. This is for your act. This is for you. I'm like, I had to explain to him so many times that I can't do other people's jokes. That's I can't do that. Oh God.
Yeah, I've
And
had
then and
people tell
then
me, "Hey, I saw this comic on TikTok. Maybe you can use this for your bit," and they'll tell me the bit that they did. I'm like, "I know I can't. That's plagiarism. That's
complete plagiarism.
yeah, you can't do that."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I've been also trying to write more funny songs. Like I did it at the glove box. I busted out the guitar and wrote a song and did it. And I feel it was great, but then I realized, dude, I went over time, and that's the whole thing with me. Like I don't want to go over time because you know somebody else did, and this guy was just going on and on and on. Like he was just not. Like they started waving the glove at him, and he would not. And to me, that's like a big thing. Like going over time for me, it's like I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to abuse the privilege of being on stage. It's just I don't know. And I felt bad, and I was like, guys, I'm so sorry. I just got into the song and I was singing it, and I think I went almost 3 minutes over. I was like, oh my God, what did I do?
Yeah, I try to explain that to people sometimes
Yeah,
about going over, and it's like, yeah, a minute or 2 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but if you have multiple people doing that, it
yeah,
really throws off the flow of the
yeah.
show.
It does, man. And that exactly. It was a lot of people waiting to go on. I was like, oh, yeah. And
It was
Nancy was so nice. I told her, hey, can I go early? Because I've already done the Margaritaville, so I wanted to go home. It was almost 10 o'clock, and I was like, and she did. She was so nice.
hmm
Yeah.
I remember I did one of the navigations. I think it was the Holiday Misfit one. Were you on? Were you at that? Yeah,
Hmm.
you were at that
Oh
one.
yeah. Yes,
And
we did that one
Mike was like,
together.
don't go a second over 10 minutes. So I had my
Yes.
10 minutes down pat. Like this is my 10.
Yeah.
But during my throat cancer joke, a lady said something over here, and this is going back to
Mhm.
crowd work. I don't normally interact,
Yeah.
but she said something, and the first thing that came to my mind was, "Did you just say you have throat cancer?" And it turned into this whole thing because of what the joke was, and I didn't even consider it. I tried to speed up, but I ended up getting off stage like 11 minutes and 20 seconds. I ran right over to Mike. I was like, "I'm so sorry." He's like,
Oh
"Whatever,"
God.
I was like, "You said don't go
Yeah,
over." He's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Don't worry about it." It was just, but it was one of those organic things. Like, how do you account for that?
Right.
I mean, that comes with experience. You do account for it when you have the experience, but um,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, if it's working, if it's
yeah,
funny, you just go with it.
I think you get a little
Yeah.
leeway there too if it's going well. Like if you're going over and people are just staring at you, drooling, like when's this guy getting off the stage? Then they might get a little
Oh,
more mad than if you have the place erupting.
exactly. Oh, that is the worst when there's just like, oh my God, you lose the audience and they're not with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh my God. So yeah, like, how do you like this other thing? Like, how do you send, how do you reach out to people, bookers, without sounding like a pick me girl? Like you just send them your dates. Hey, I'm available. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, everybody wants what they call avails, um,
Hmm.
which is your availability. I hate that because I could say, "Hey, Carlos, I'm available the entire month of April," and then hit send on an
Hmm.
email, and then within an hour get 4 or 5 shows. No, that doesn't happen. But you could just fill up time pretty quick before they even get back to you, and then they're like, "Oh, what about this date? What about that?" I kind of leave it
Yeah,
ambiguous when I send an email. I just say, "Hey,
yeah,
I may say I'm fairly open from this date on. I won't give any specifics for the most part, but and just say,
yeah,
let me know if there's any opportunity to work with you, and hopefully
yeah,
they'll just say, "Hey, are you available on this date?" That's what I do, but everybody says to send your availability, but it's ever changing. I think that's kind of
yeah. Right. I sent my availability to Matt Miskey from Knicks, right?
yep.
Matt, and he sent me a it wasn't a thumbs up, it was a trophy emoji. Like
What the
a
hell does that
trophy
mean?
emoji. I don't know. I don't know,
Matt's
Matt.
the
If you're
man.
watching this, more likely. I
Matt's
I
the
think
man,
it's
dude. He's
good.
he's such a nice
I
guy.
think it's good. Oh, he's great. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, it was so cool. I did Knicks once with the pharmacist Artie.
Artie
Oh
Gennaro
my God,
or whatever.
Gennaro. Yes, yeah, and
I haven't seen
oh, it
him.
was
I heard
great.
he's hilarious.
Oh, he's so funny.
He was
He's so
actually the
funny though.
pharmacist for one of the people that I work with, like back in the day. She was like, "Yeah, I
Right.
went to a comedy show one time," and I was like, "Is that my pharmacist?" And sure as shit, it was her pharmacist. It was Artie.
Yeah, he's a real pharmacist. Yeah, that's the thing. You meet all these people. I got chatting with him too. It was so cool because he was telling me when he writes in the morning, and at night he does all this stuff. And no, the morning is the time for writing. And they say like you should get up early and write. Um, and for me, that actually it works because
I could see that because
in the
by the end of the day, you're drained, and all you want to do is sit on TikTok.
yeah, oh yeah, oh my God, yes, yeah, or exactly. Like I have no way. I have this app. Yeah, it's a journal app, and I don't know how to change the fucking settings. Every night at 8, it's time to write on your journal,
Hmm.
and I'm like, shut the fuck up. I'm not writing in a fucking journal now. I'm gonna write in the morning. Just that remind me in the fucking morning. They get so mad every time I think. But the thing is, Wayne, that I can dictate into it, so
Mm.
that's kind of cool. It's like Captain Kirk, fucking, and a captain's log, start date, okay, and then we
I
just start talking.
Are you talking about like talk to text?
Yeah,
Because that
it's
always
talk to
gets fucked
text,
up for me. You'll
right.
never know what I was trying to write down if I do that.
I had to look at my settings because like I'm again at 5 in the morning. I'm like dictating something, and then I read it. It's like, what is this? It's like, is this even English or Spanish or whatever? It just mumbles the words, and then I have to, decipher what I wrote to myself. It's so annoying.
So speaking of Nick's, I'm at Nick's for the first time on Saturday.
On Saturday, I'm gonna try to come. You with Richie.
Yep, Richie T, Jacques, Trevor Dion, who I've never
Yeah.
met, and then Tyler Hittner, who I've also never met. Tyler's
Okay.
headlining, but I'm
Yeah.
looking
I
forward to it,
want to
man.
try to
I'm
make it.
pumped. I'm excited.
Yes. Yes. That is. It's next, dude.
Yeah, I
It's a
mean, I
legend.
think Matt is really returning that spot to its former glory, and have you seen? I know we talked a little bit about the earlier about the Boston comedians part two or whatever. Have you seen like all the hate Nick's has been getting?
Yes.
To his,
Yes. Yes.
I keep
Yeah.
my mouth shut on the interwebs, but I'll say it right now: bunch of fucking pussies. For comics, they are fucking pussies. Shut the fuck up, do the
Yeah.
work, and try to get on. Stop bitching about who's
Right.
getting opportunities. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
Yeah.
But bunch of fucking
Yeah.
pussies.
Yeah, fucking
Fucking drives me
pussies.
nuts. That's why I
Exactly.
blocked it. I blocked it
Yeah.
because of that stuff. I'm like, they're all talking shit about a guy they don't know. The guy's great. You know what I mean? He's doing his best. He's got a full time job and he's
Oh.
trying to do this at night. You know?
Oh yeah, man. No, no. He's
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I just went
He's
off the
doing a
rails.
great
My
job.
apologies.
No, no. Hey, tell me how you really feel. That's
I
great.
stand up for the people that
Um.
I like. I like Matt. He's a good dude, and I hate when
Oh
people
no, he's
start
great.
shitting on people
No,
for no
he didn't
reason.
deserve it. He didn't. He certainly like people should have been like, hey, look, like but then let it go because it's a little too much. Like and that's my worry sometimes. Like I have to remind myself that you have to, as comics, you have to deal with things with humor
Mm-hmm.
because that's the problem with all this bullshit we're having now with all these right-wing comics. It's like, like, the left is getting offended, but we believe in free speech. And it's you gotta be somewhere in the middle, man, because you can say crazy shit because of freedom of speech, but it's not gonna make it funny if you start, because isn't comedy fucking punching up?
Right.
But then you can, if you start going to the right and start punching down and saying shit it's not funny. So, but I also don't want to be like the fucking joke police. And
Right.
I've I've had situations where I really take offense to something somebody says, and
Mm-hmm.
perhaps I have acted on it, and I not I wonder if I could have done it better. I
Yeah.
deal with that situation with humor instead of getting indignant about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that. So I don't engage in any of that fucking internet bullshit.
Yeah.
I think it's a cesspool. Fucking that's why I need to get rid of TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Um but in the meantime, the fucking comedians website, fucking keep it on, kids, because it's entertaining as fuck.
It is. I do get a little heated though sometimes. It's just like
Yeah. Have you
you
ever
know
put anything on it? Like, have you ever like commented?
I did one time. So I did a contest for Delusional. I don't know if you ever heard of them, Delusional Comedy. The
Hmm.
Dirty Birds. They did a contest, and I was able to get into it. Um, so I had a little behind the scenes on that. I think there was
Okay.
I think there was 12 finalists, and then 14 people total applied.
Okay. Okay.
12 out of the 14 people were white males.
Okay.
The
Okay.
other
Gotcha.
two were non-white males. Um,
Okay.
Maz was
Okay.
one of them. Maz made it onto the top 12.
Hmm.
And the other one I won't name, but so
Hmm.
the one that didn't make it, even though he didn't make it into the top 12, he got a show, a paid show, the night before, and then he went there and he
Okay.
got to do like 5 or 10 minutes while they were counting up tallies. So he was still
Okay.
part of it. So, anyways, the poster had Maz, and then 11 white guys. and somebody posted it and started going off on like, oh, it's nice to see diversity, this and that. And they started like, oh, some people have beards, some have no hair, some have glasses. I'm like, hey, motherfucker, you were singling me out.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
did interact there, and it's like, not for nothing, but this is why maybe you should have applied for it, and maybe you would have gotten in. And that's where
Yeah.
and it just turned into this whole
Right,
pissing
right.
match, and I was like, you know what, I'm done. I just can't. I can't. I
Right.
don't. I don't want to be a combative person.
Right.
You know.
No, absolutely. It is, but it is. You have. I know you. You're not. You're not. You're a funny guy. But it's like it's why people it gets off the rails because yeah, the majority of comedians are fucking white dudes. Like just the way it is. Like just you know. Um, and there's some of us that bring some diversity, but you have to be careful when you call that out because just because there's a bunch of white guys doesn't make the book a racist, doesn't. But but on the other hand, if you wanna be intentional about having a diverse show, like that's another like I got booked with two other Hispanic comedians. Like nobody said that we were being racist because we didn't have any white dudes in it. So it's like the people are so, and I feel it too, man. I'm guilty. It's like people are so raw right now about all this fucking shit that's going on, and we just gotta remind ourselves, dude. If we want to call ourselves comics, we need to deal with shit in a comedic way. And I definitely not saying that I'm successful all the time, but that's definitely what I want to do. So,
Yeah. I had this conversation more than I would like, but when you look at
hmm
all these flyers that have all the white guys on it, let's break down the population of the Boston comedy community. Right. You have this
right,
much. Let's see. Where's my camera? We got like this much white guys doing comedy. What percentage of
yeah,
them are actually bookable? A couple.
right,
Let's call it
yeah,
5%. So you have 100. Let's say you have 100
hmm
comics. 5 of them are bookable, white men,
yeah,
or even just men, whatever. And then how
right,
many female comics do you see out there? It's not 100. You might have 20,
yes, that's
but you have that same
funny, yeah,
5%, right? What's 5% of 20?
hmm
So
yeah,
it's just a less number of female comics. I'm just
right,
going off let's go gender at this point,
hmm
or sex.
right,
I
right,
don't know
right.
what the correct fucking term to say is at this point.
Yes,
But
yes,
you have
you're
the
gonna
same
get
percentage
canceled,
of
dude.
funny people, but less of that demographic doing it. You know what I mean? Like just because somebody is a
Yeah,
particular color or race or gender or whatever doesn't mean that
hmm
they're going to just be funny and bookable. I
right.
try to look at it that way. Like, what is the math? What is the statistics of X amount of people doing it and the percentage that are funny? And you know what I'm trying to say there?
Yeah, I do, absolutely. And it makes if you make you brought up the point that comedy is about likability, how
Mm-hmm.
how people respond to you. Because I've seen some people online that like they're really nice to look at, but they're not necessarily funny,
Yep.
but they have 100,000 followers, 200,000 followers.
Yep.
When you listen to the shit they're saying, it's not funny, but they're really nice to look at, and I really enjoy looking at them. Um, which it kind of makes you think. Like I don't even want to identify either gender or whether the person I'm talking about because who the fuck is gonna see
Yep.
this, but I don't want to name names. But I really this particular person like I look at them online. It's like wow, they're very nice to look at,
Mm-hmm.
but their shit's not funny. But it doesn't matter because they're really likable.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah,
Then you also have to look too. Like
weird.
comedy is very subjective, right?
Yeah,
Um, I watched some clips. I'm like, that wasn't funny at all, but the crowd is loving it.
loving it.
And then
Right.
there's other things where I've been at open mics. I went to Soho last week, and one of the comics there did a joke that I think I was the only one laughing at. I was laughing so hard at it. Um,
Okay.
might be my third favorite cancer joke, with my two being the number one and two because I'm fucking narcissistic. But comedy is very subjective as well. But you are right. They,
Mm,
we'll call it eye candy is a thing, right?
yeah,
You
right.
put somebody on a flyer, they look good. It's like, all right, let's go. And
They look
both, male,
great,
female.
and
That's why Anthony gets so many shows. He's a
yeah,
handsome little devil.
yeah. He is very handsome. Yes. Fuck that guy. He's too handsome. Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, no, no, absolutely. Yeah, and he's got a great website, man. I saw his website. It's like I gotta get some tips from this guy how to get my website looking so sexy.
Yeah, he's good. He's been working on websites for like his company too, so he's really good with Wix.
Mm,
But
mm.
I went up, I got a template, and I just kind of changed it a little bit, and
Yeah,
yeah,
same, same. I did the same thing. I just, it needs a little work. It's okay. Yeah, but yeah, it's all good. Hopefully, it'll lead to some more bookings. Even though I'm trying, I'm really trying hard to be funny.
yeah. I think we talk about it all the time. I think networking is huge. Funny is a small percentage of it. If you
Yeah,
are likable off stage as well as
mhm.
on, I think that goes a long
I
way.
know. I haven't like, that weekend that I met the Viper. I was gonna go see him the following week, and a Jen was opening for him, and I for some reason I couldn't go, and I'm really kicking myself because that would have been another opportunity to sort of like, you know, remind him that I exist type thing. Because I met him and we hit it up, but he hasn't seen me since, so it's probably out of sight, out of mind. So yeah, gotta. Uh, it's just like being a teacher, dude. Like on Tuesday, I went to those two open mics, and I was thinking, my God, I can't. Like I was really like, should I go? Should I go? I'm glad I went. It was fantastic. And there's a thing when you have a good performance, and it was great, both fantastic. Um, that it energizes you. But bro, to get out of the house sometimes, that's like the hardest thing. If I can get out of the house, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, yeah. That I have the same thing. I'll get out of the house anytime. I'm fine. I'm a night owl, so going out doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I still don't like to wait till midnight to get on stage, but
Oh,
getting out of the house is the hard part because I have the 5 year old and my wife also
yeah.
works a full time job is in school, so my time
Yes.
to find that time is tough too. But
Yeah.
also as the older I'm getting, wanting to actually get up and not just sit there and play PlayStation because I'm starting to get addicted to video games again. Um,
Oh God.
it's tough.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Do you find like those late open mics lead to more bookings? That's what
Late open
people tell
mics.
me.
I've never gotten
Yeah.
booked off an open
Like,
mic. So I don't think I
okay.
really fit into the open mic crowd all that well because I am older. I don't smoke weed. And I am kind
Yeah.
of a wallflower. I'm a sales guy for my day job. I talk to people all day long. It's tiring, and I don't want to do it. I'll be courteous and I'll chat,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not one to just walk up to somebody I don't know and go, "Hey, how you doing, Wayne? Nice to meet you." But if I saw you at an open
Got
mic,
you.
obviously I'd talk your ear off, as I've done many times.
Yeah,
But I don't just do it to
yeah.
random people. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah.
But yeah, the
Yeah, I
networking's. I mean,
definitely
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, networking is definitely the way to go.
Yeah. It's just yeah. Sometimes like I've done like the networking thing. I need to be better, but last year or when I first started, like um I went to a couple shows around here. I've won the same booker. I went and I reached out to them and I said I'm coming just to support whatever, and not a single invitation to perform. And at some point you're like, okay, it's so discouraging because you're trying to make the connections and stuff, and it's like but it's like everything, you just gotta keep doing it until somebody says yes, and hopefully. My goal as a comedian and performer is that how do I go from opening act to feature act? You know what I'm saying? Like how do I get to that level where I can really like open up for all these guys and like start making a couple more bucks. Like that's the challenge, right? How do you get so now I got 25 minutes. Now how do I get those 25 minutes to half an hour, 30, even 40 minutes? Because now you're like in headliner territory, right? When
Yeah.
you get to the 45, 50 minutes, you know.
Sometimes even 30. You
Um,
see a lot of these guys doing headlining gigs at 30. It's not super
right,
common, but you'll see them build as a headline. And that I call that soft headlining maybe. Um, but yeah, you're right.
right. Yeah, how you build your act to get that, and that's my goal. Like I'm not saying, like, oh, I want to be a headliner, but that's the work I'm putting in to have enough material so that when the opportunity arrives,
Hmm.
I'm ready,
Yeah.
So
How do you? Let me ask you a question. When you're putting together when you're doing a set, right?
mm,
Let's say I book you.
yes,
Say, Carlos, I want you to do 15
yes,
minutes.
sure.
How are you choosing your material? Are you just going up and picking out of the air as you go on, or are you
No,
meticulous and you're
no.
like, this is what I'm doing?
I I always have a game plan. Like for like this gig in Lawrence, I was like, hey, dude, this is how you're doing a fundraiser for a youth sports uh, organization. Does that mean it's clean? Like it's a clean? And it's like, no, no, you do you. Okay, great. So I'm gonna do my. So I have a list of bits that I have, like my main list, and then I just start putting pieces together. Like this one, for example, I know it's gonna be a lot of Hispanic people, so I went heavy on that. Like you know, my jokes about being Hispanic and all the cultural stuff. But I always know when I always think about a game plan because
Yep.
again, being paranoid and being nervous, I have to go up there prepared because if I don't, I will it will be a fucking piece of shit. Oh, and I remember what I wanted because it's related to this. Like, I have a plan, and the other thing I don't is I don't drink before I go on stage because
Hmm.
don't get me wrong, I love it. I love alcohol. It's fantastic. But I've noticed that the times I've drank before going on, it really affects my performance.
Hmm.
And that's the two things. I don't drink, I don't eat, and I gotta have a list of, you know,
Yep.
the
I might
points.
have a beer and a half
Yeah,
at most at this point. I used to have
yeah,
a couple before I went up.
yeah.
Just socially or whatever. Now I'll still
Yes.
have a beer socially. If I'm later in the set, I'll have a beer and a half. But I try to keep it limited to that. And the reason for the half is because I have a bit where I use the beer as a prop. Um,
Okay.
and so I like to have the half a beer with me on stage for when I do that joke.
Sure.
Um, so
Yes.
um,
I am gonna get to that point where I can have a beer on stage and use it as a prop and
yeah,
drink it. That would be nice. Like those guys to go on stage, like they don't care, like without a care in the world, and you fucking go up there and they're like just shooting the breeze. I envy that. Because how could you be so relaxed?
I have a yeah. I mean, once again, I think that comes with
Mhm.
experience. I have a hard time. I'm like you. I go prepared. I'm like, this is my set. This is what I want to do. I can sometimes add
Yeah.
things. Like I'll add things if I might cut stuff,
Yeah.
and if I find out that I'm like, yeah, I'm running early because I'm talking too fast or whatever, I'll add stuff. But I'm not one to
Yeah.
pivot.
Ah, I got you.
You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like if I have a hard time in the moment going, oh yeah, I can do the joke about this and that instead, and then come back into it on the spot. And I think that comes once again with experience when you do it more and more, and you're okay having those fuck ups, and it's all practice. But at the point I'm at now, nobody's giving me time all willy nilly with the confidence in me for me to be able to go up and fuck up like that to learn that skill.
Right. Well, exactly. But that's what bookers look for, right? Somebody that's reliable. Not gonna
Hmm.
go off,
Yep.
you know.
Me and Anthony
Yeah.
talked about it last week. I
Okay.
mean, he's getting so much stuff from Mike. Um, Mike trusts him a lot, so he can go up and
Yeah.
he could bomb probably 5 nights in a row, and Mike's gonna be like, "Well, you're fucking sucking right now." Here's another show. But
Yeah.
he earned that, and that's great
Yeah.
that he can
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
that. But I'm not at that spot with any of the bookers. Like I'm getting like things here and there to
Right. Right.
keep my month busy, but I'm not at the point where somebody's like, "Oh, he had a bad night. That's okay. He'll get the next one."
Right. Yeah. We're still like,
Yep.
trying to prove ourselves, and I mean, but that's what I like about this too. Like, it keeps me hungry. It keeps
Mm-hmm.
me hungry. This is something I wanna work towards.
Yep.
Um, and I'm enjoying the process, the writing process, and everything. Yeah. Like, it was funny because you know how the creative process is. Like, I wrote a song, and I was writing this song. Um, that was a bit. Like, this was a bit. It's like, oh my God, this could be a song. So I wrote the song, and then I started writing a song. But it's like, well, no, it's better as a bit. So it's like I'm enjoying the whole, like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm one of, if people give me a chance to get up and
You.
to sing and do my jokes, I love it. And if I bomb, no, it's not that I don't care, but I wanna not care,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like that liberates you, and also you learn so much
Yep.
from things that don't go right.
Right.
Like, that's when you make the big adjustments. When
Yep.
if you have a horrible night, you're like, oh, if you can get over your own head, like, because I get in my head, dude. But there's nobody getting me out of my head, dude. My
Yeah.
wife's like, shut the fuck up about the bad night.
I'll kind of tweak what you said. It's not that you want to not care, but you want to care about the right part of it, right? So
Yes.
we'll go back to New Year's Eve where I had that horrible night. I cared very much
Yeah.
about how that went down that night and how horrible I did. Um, the crowd wasn't having me. That lady wasn't having me. I felt like I let everybody
Oh, the
down.
crowd.
Um, I cared about that in the moment. Now I don't care about that. What I care about, I still care about that interaction and what happened, but I care about what I took away from that and what I learned from that. Um, I look back on it with 2020 vision. Hindsight's 2020. I look back
Yeah.
and say, okay, they weren't having this type of joke.
Hmm.
Should I have just stopped the 10 minutes and let Carolyn go up and just stuck with the safe stuff?
Hmm.
But I don't know. So
Yeah.
that's what I
You
care
don't.
about. Looking at it from that perspective and saying, what could I learn from that? Not caring that
Right.
I physically I bombed.
Right. Exactly. And it's hard because there's no sense in double guessing yourself. Like, I totally get it, Wayne. Like, when I was doing my song last Tuesday and I went over time, like, I'm thinking, oh my God, I should have stopped at the first chorus, and it would have been great because A, I would have been on time, and B, people were laughing, so
Yeah.
I could have. And but I went over. I made my apologies, and I learned a lesson. And now next time I gotta tighten up that song and be quick about it, and it'll be better.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think that's the what is it? The curse of being creative people. You're always gonna be double guessing yourself. You're
Yep.
never satisfied. You know, there's very few things that I say, oh my God, this is done. Like, little songs that I've written and little bits like, there's always something to add. So it's awesome, but it's also cursed because you're never satisfied.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So we're coming up on our soft out. We had a soft out.
Yes.
We actually went over a little bit.
All right.
I don't want to. I want to keep you from your beauty sleep. Not that you
Oh,
couldn't
I
stand
got
to
I
lose
got
some
I got
beauty,
That's it.
you selfish bitch.
You fucking
So
bastard. Oh,
this
no,
isn't
no,
going to come out.
Eugenio is the standard of beauty.
Yeah, he looks like
Eugenio.
Obama. You're fine. You got him. Um,
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
I used to call him Kuzco when we were younger from Emperor's New Groove.
Let's go. It's like,
So
oh
this
my
this
God.
comes out. This will come out not this Monday, but a week from Monday. Is there anything you have
All
going
right.
on that you want to plug? Your website? Any dates you're doing? Anything like
Uh,
that?
yeah, let's see. I'm gonna be doing the Riot Act on, when is that happening?
April
Hang on.
17th, I think it is.
April 17th. Is that what it is? Yes, Riot Act on the 17th, and I'm gonna be on Paul Santos on April 7th. Yes.
Is
So
Paul Santos,
those
is that
are
live? I know they put it out afterwards, but do they show that live as well?
they show it live. They show it live on Facebook, and then it comes out on an ABC affiliate in Rhode Island and Providence, I
Oh, okay.
believe, or they show it on the affiliate and then on Facebook. I don't know. I I wish I could tell you. But those are the two bookings I have going on at the moment. So and my website is carloszcomic.com. I put all my dates there. Check it out, and my Instagram is carloszcomic. Like and follow.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. It was always a pleasure to talk to you. I was good excited when I
Thank
see
you
you on
for
the same show.
thank you for
So
having me,
we'll have to
Dwayne.
have
I
you back when
appreciate it,
Anthony's
man.
here so we can gang up on him.
Oh yeah. Where the fuck is Eugenio?
Yeah, he's up in Hampton. I actually just saw he sent me a text about it. I didn't read it, but he sent me a text about it. So it's either really good or really bad. He likes to brag, so it's
Oh,
probably
all
really
right.
good.
Oh, okay. I'm curious now. I'm curious.
Yeah. Well, we'll get off here. I'll check it. I'll let you know.
All right, brother.
All right, man. Thanks again. I appreciate it.
Of course. Take it easy.
Skibbity. The fuck is Skibbity?